Okay, good morning. Yesterday we did chapters 5, 6, and 7 of First Nephi. And today we are on chapter 8. So let's keep on keeping on. Alright, Lehi sees a vision of the tree of life. He partakes of its fruit and desires his family to do likewise. He sees a rod of iron, a straight and narrow path, in the midst of darkness that enshroud them. Sariah, Nephi, and Sam partake of the fruit, but Laman and Lemuel refuse. And this is in the same time frame, about 600 to 592 BC. So one of the images is this painting. Kind of cut off. Let's see if I can. Can't scroll. But here's kind of an image of that, the rod of iron, the people, the tree, people making their way towards the tree, people making their way towards the great and spacious building. What if I zoom out? Nope, that doesn't help. Okay. Anyways, just want to give you a visual. And it came to pass that we had gathered together all manner of seeds of every kind, both of grain of every kind, and also the seeds of fruit of every kind. And it came to pass that while my father tarried in the wilderness, he spake unto us, saying, Behold, I have dreamed a dream, or in other words, I have seen a vision. And behold, because of the things which I have seen, I have reason to rejoice in the Lord because of Nephi, and also of Sam, for I have reason to suppose that they, and also many of their seed, will be saved. But behold, Laman and Lemuel, I fear exceedingly because of you, for behold, methought I saw in a dream a dark and dreary wilderness. And it came to pass that I saw a man, and he was dressed in a white robe, and he came and stood before me. And it came to pass that he spake unto me, and bade me to follow him. And it came to pass that as I followed him, behold, I beheld myself, that I was in a dark and dreary waste. So he followed him into the dark and dreary waste. And after I had traveled for the space of many hours in darkness, I began to pray unto the Lord that he would have mercy on me, according to the multitude of his tender mercies. And it came to pass that after I had prayed unto the Lord, I beheld a large and spacious field. And it came to pass that I beheld a tree whose fruit was desirable to make one happy. It's interesting to me that how many times trees appear in the scriptures. We have the tree of life, which we have here. In the Old Testament, we're studying about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. We have the allegory of the olive tree. In the Book of Mormon later. And there's many other instances of it. And it came to pass that I did go forth and partake of the fruit thereof, and I beheld that it was most sweet, above all that I have ever before tasted. Yea, and I beheld that the fruit thereof was white, to exceed all the whiteness that I have ever seen, And as I partook of the fruit, therefore it filled my soul with exceedingly great joy. Wherefore I began to be desirous that my family should partake of it also, for I knew that it was desirable above all other fruit. And as I cast my eyes round about, that perhaps I might discover my family also, I beheld a river of water, and it ran along, and it was near the tree of which I was partaking of the fruit. And I looked to behold from whence it came, and I saw the head thereof a little way off, In the head thereof I beheld your mother Sariah, and Sam, and Nephi, and they stood as if they knew not whither they should go. I'm just wondering, never mind. And it came to pass that I beckoned unto them, and I also did say unto them with a loud voice, that they should come unto me, and partake of the fruit which was desirable above all other fruit. And it came to pass that they did come unto me, and partake of the fruit also. And it came to pass that I was desirous that Laman and Lemuel should come and partake of the fruit also. Wherefore I cast my eyes towards the head of the river, that perhaps I might see them. And it came to pass that I saw them, but they would not come unto me and partake of the fruit. And also I beheld a rod of iron, and it extended along the bank of the river and led to the tree by which I stood. And behold, I held a straight and narrow path, which came along by the rod of iron, even to the tree by which I stood. And it also led by the head of the fountain unto a large and spacious field, as if it had been a world. And I saw numberless concourses of people, many of whom were pressing forward that they might obtain the path which led unto the tree by which I stood. And it came to pass that they did come forth and commence in the path which led to the tree. And it came to pass that there arose a mist of darkness, even an exceedingly great mist of darkness, insomuch that they who had commenced in the path did lose their way, and they wandered off and were lost. So the mist of darkness wasn't always there, but as the people were grabbing hold of the rod of iron, the mist did appear. Interesting. And it came to pass that I beheld others pressing forward, and they came forth and caught hold of the end of the rod of iron, and they did press forward through the mist of darkness, clinging to the rod of iron, even until they did come forth and partake of the fruit of the tree. That's an interesting verb, clinging. Perseverance, diligence, diligently. Okay. And after they had partaken of the fruit of the tree, they did cast their eyes about as if they were ashamed. And also I cast my eyes round about and beheld on the other side of the river water a great and spacious building, and it stood as it were in the air, high above the earth. That's always been interesting to me. The great and spacious building had no foundation. It was just floating there. And it was filled with people, both old and young, both male and female, and their manner of dress was exceedingly fine, and they were in the attitude of mocking and pointing their fingers towards those who had come at and were partaking of the fruit. And after they had tasted the fruit, they were ashamed because of those that were scoffing at them, and they fell away into forbidden paths and were lost. And now I, Nephi, do not speak all the words of my father. But to be short in writing, behold, he saw other multitudes pressing forward, and they came and caught hold of the end of the rod of iron, and they did press their way forward, continually holding fast to the rod of iron, till they came forth and fell down and partook of the fruit of the tree. And he also saw other multitudes feeling their way towards the great and spacious building. Feeling. They were feeling their way. And it came to pass that they were drowned in the depths of the fountain, and many were lost from his view, wandering in strange roads. And there was a great multitude that did enter into the strange building. And after they did enter into that building, they did point the finger of scorn at me and those that were partaking of the fruit, but we heeded them not. Because because that's just what you got to do to be able to stay at the tree. You don't heed those mocking and pointing the finger. And Laban and Lemuel partook not of the fruit, said my father. And it came to pass, after my father had spoken all the words of his dream or vision, which were many, he said unto us, because of these things which he saw in a vision, he exceedingly feared for Laman and Lemuel. Yea, he feared lest they should be cast off from the presence of the Lord. And he did exhort them with all the feelings of a tender parent, that they would hearken to his words. That perhaps the Lord would be merciful unto them, and not cast them off. Yea, my father did preach unto them, and after he had preached unto them, and also prophesied unto them of many things, he bade them to keep the commandments of the Lord, and he did cease speaking unto them. Let's go back here. First Nephi chapter 8. I want to see what my notes are on this, because this chapter has a lot of symbolism. It's a dream, and I'm pretty sure that I have some notes on this. 894. Library, gospel library. Maybe gospel library. Scriptures. Book of Mormon. Chapter 8. Oh yeah, okay, let's see what my notes are. Okay. About the path of darkness. Being on the path is not enough. Mists of darkness can derail us. What does it mean? So this is a question I had back in 2019. What does it mean to cast your eyes about? Does it mean not to focus but be distracted? If the light of the body is the eye, and we are not focused on the fruit, our bodies will not be full of light. We will notice the mocking, the finger pointing, the ridicule, and fall away. So instead of casting our eyes about, we need to have our focus on the Savior. Those who fell down did not fall away. And it's in reference to continually holding fast to the rock until they came forth and fell down and partook of the fruit of the tree. I wonder why I wrote that down. Those who fell down did not fall away. It's not immediately coming to me. But anyways, that was First Nephi chapter 8, the vision of the tree of life. Maybe I'll talk about it a little more about it tomorrow. I've got my kids sleeping in the very next room. They had their cousins over last night, so I haven't really been able to. I've been very cautious of being loud and not waking them up, so tomorrow that won't be the case. Their cousins are gone, and I'll continue on studying the Book of Mormon. Tomorrow we'll be on First Nephi chapter 9. Okay, well guys, have a great day, and if you get a chance, read your scriptures, and the things that you read will make a difference in your day. So have a fantastic day, and we'll see you then.